Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I am Noctair, your host. So I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit today and talk about Legend League over on the home village. Legend League used to be just like the lower leagues, whether it was Titans or Champs or Masters. You could attack as much as you want, whenever you want. You could skip over bases that you didn't like for whatever reason. Maybe they didn't offer enough loot or they were too hard. Lots of times there would be clan castles that didn't have anything in them and so forth. You might even find dead bases. That was how Legend League used to be, just like all the other leagues and tiers in the game. But there was a big downside in that there weren't a lot of people in Legend League, since it is at the top of the game, kind of the end game experience, if you will. So you would end up waiting 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to God knows how long just to pull a single potential opponent. And then you might find out that that opponent didn't have squat to offer in loot, which would mean that it was not really worth the attack anyway, because you wouldn't even be able to cover your attacking troops. So obviously not a good thing. They had to do something about it. They let that kind of sit there and just fester for a few years before finally coming up with what they called Operation Blue Skies. And the way Legend League works now, once you hit 5,000 trophies, you're given the option to enroll in Legend League, and you'll be given 8 attacks each day. You don't get to pick your attacks. You can't next out of them or whatever. You're just given the 8 opponents, and you've got to attack them. And likewise, you're offered up to 8 opponents as well. So it's 8 potential attacks, 8 potential defenses. You can do them whenever you want. There's absolutely no wait because they're all pre-picked at the beginning of the league day. And there's a limit to how much loot that you can get. That's got both pros and cons to it. There's a total of 450,000 gold, 550,000 elixir, and 6,500 dark elixir available to you in each attack. And then your percent damage bonus that you would get is 340,000 gold elixir and 2,400 dark elixir. Obviously, your performance will determine just how much of those you get, just like any other attack. So kind of a plus and a minus there on the amount that you can get. Depending upon how you run your attack, you may do really well and walk away with a lot, or you may not. So kind of a plus and a minus there. You do get your star bonus still. That's 900,000 gold in elixir and 4,500 dark elixir. One of the nice things about Legend League is that you can set your base and your defending clan castle and forget about it. Once it's set, it stays there until you change it or drop out of Legend League, which is kind of cool because I don't like having to mess around with it every single day, constantly begging for troops or whatever. I don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. And you can have a completely and totally different home village base because it's not actually interacting with opponents. So that's kind of cool. Trophies are based on stars, but you don't actually lose any trophies for a bad attack, which is kind of weird. You'll earn 4 trophies for every attack, no matter what you get. But then there's a base for 1 and 2 stars of 5 and 16, and each additional trophy you get will be based upon how much percent damage you do. So in my typical 2-star 65 to 85% attacks, I'll end up walking away with, 25 trophies, 30 trophies, something like that. Not too terrible bad on the number of trophies that you earn. But again, remember, you're taking 8 defenses, so if your base is not very good, you could potentially lose a lot more trophies than you gain, depending on how well you attack. So take that into account as you build your base. Talking about bases, since the base is separated from your home village, and nobody gets to see the base that they're going to attack before they attack it, so there's no scouting. But because of that, it makes sense to run your war base, and that's what I think most people are doing. It kind of leads to a lack of variety. I mean, like for example, in these replays, you can see all 3 of these bases are very similar, and it's that kind of design that we're seeing throughout. That can be a bit boring, I guess, but at the same time, it gives you an idea of what to expect, so you can kind of plan your attacks. I like to run dragons and electro dragons, and most of the time these bases respond well to electro dragon attacks, so that's what I run. And since it costs about 350,000 elixir to run those attacks, and that's about what I'm going to get in my bonus as long as I make 70% or better, which I usually do, it kind of evens out. So not too many complaints with that. At the end of the season, You're automatically re-enrolled, so you don't have to go through the manual enroll process, if you will, anymore. And your base and your clan castle get carried over. So another good thing on that point. I really think the biggest positive of all this, though, is probably not losing any resources when you get attacked. You lose trophies, but whatever resources you got, you get to keep. And that does kind of offset a little bit the lower earnings. I mean, when you're playing on the home village, you can farm as much as you want and spend as much time as you want farming down in the lower leagues. You could go out and find a base that has 1,000,000 gold, 1,000,000 elixir, and 9,500 dark elixir. 3-star it because it doesn't have any clan castle troops, and maybe it's a dead base and been sitting there for months without being touched, you know. That's a great base to be able to pull down. That is the holy grail, and everybody's looking for it. And if you really look hard, you can get several of those an hour and pull in, gosh, 10 million in gold and elixir and 30, 40, 50,000 dark elixir. So, I mean, you could do really, really well very quickly farming in the lower leagues. You can't do that in the upper league of Legend League because of the limitations on loot. But at the same time, you're not taking any attacks that are going to get your loot out of your base. So it offsets it by a little bit. And the fact that you've always got 8 attacks, they're always going to be at least this amount. You're not putting as much time into it. It balances out fairly well between the two, I think. At least in my opinion. I prefer to play it a little more casually, and I'm able to do that because of that. Now, the shields work differently up here as well. You can't just put up a shield and have it automatically activate, because if you did that, well, then the people that have been given your base to attack wouldn't be able to attack you, and that would be kind of wrong, you know? So shields take effect on the following league day. That makes sense, but the downside to Legend League, I think, and it's probably the biggest downside in my opinion, you can't take time off without spending gems. You're going to be offered up for 8 defenses every day, whether you make your attacks or not. So you have the potential to lose 320 trophies every day, no matter what. If you decide you want to take a couple days off, maybe you're going on vacation for a week or whatever, there's nothing you can do to stop that. So it's easy to get knocked out of Legend League just by taking a few days off if you're kind of down in the low to mid levels of it. And I don't think I should have to pay money, which is what gems are, to be able to take a couple days off from a game. That's not cool. I'd really like to see Supercell do something about that. Maybe, you know, give a, I don't know, 3 free days of Shield every Legend season or something like that. And not accumulating across seasons, just, you know, a certain number of them that you get, and that's all you get for that season, and it resets along with the new season reset. That would be nice. Another problem is dropping out. If you want to drop out, you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 days to drop out of Legend League, just by not attacking and waiting for other people to attack you so that your trophy count comes down enough to be able to do it. I think that you'll stay in all the way down to something around 4,900 it was. There's some number below 5,000 that you'll still stay in Legend League, giving you an opportunity to get your trophies back up, just like in the other leagues. So you don't just, you know, drop out right away. And that means it takes a while to get out of Legend League. That's a bit of a problem for a lot of players, I think. But other than that, very positive experience over the course of this first full month. I like Operation Blue Sky's new Legend League. I think that it's a good move in the right direction for the game, and I'm enjoying it. I'm using it to farm my walls and just be able to play the game and have a good time. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end of the video. Comments, questions down below. Let me know what you think of the new Legend League, and I'll be back in another couple days with more Clash of Clans videos. Y'all take care and keep on clashing. Bye now.